Let's go over my realistic recruiting method in college football 25. I think at times recruiting could get a little bit easy, get a little bit repetitive, especially if you're doing it a lot in this game. So what this is going to be a method to make it a little bit different, a little bit more challenging, and also to keep it a little bit more realistic how recruiting actually goes in real life. If y'all enjoyed the content, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Check out the Temple series, we going crazy. So for this, we made our own head coach. We went with Indiana, who is having a phenomenal year in real life. In the game, they are 82 overall, a 2.5-star school prestige, and their school grades are not terrible. Like, these are actually pretty solid school grades, so recruiting should not be too difficult with this program. But we are going to limit ourselves. We're going to come in over here to the prospect list, and, you know, if we come over here and search by 4 stars, and we actually press triangle, go to 4 and 5 stars, and then interested in your school, we're going to limit ourselves, man. We have a lot here. A lot of these players are interested in our program already. I think it's a little bit too many for us to be a 2.5-star school. I understand they are in the Big Ten, so that may have to do with, you know, a little bit more having some of these 4 stars interested. But I think it's a little bit too many, especially when you consider some of these guys are nowhere near the state of Indiana. So what we're going to do is, as far as 4 stars, 5 stars, we only can recruit players that's interested in us. If we go after every single one of these 4 stars, which you very well can, you probably could land 7 to 10 of them if you're doing, you know, if you're doing everything right. And then within a year, your program is in a much better spot, and their whole rebuild is pretty much, I don't want to say complete, but it's super easy. So we're going to limit ourselves. We're only going to go after the 4 stars and also 3 stars, 2 stars, whatever that is interested in our program. And then also we got to have a pipeline boost. So we got the 4 pipeline boost, 2, you know, even the 1 pipeline boost. We're only going to go after those guys. So all these other guys, we just gotta let them go, man. I went ahead, offered a scholarship to all of the 4-star players because we're not even gonna scout them, man. We already know they're gonna come in, even if they're a bust, they're still gonna come in the mid 70s, which is a good overall compared to the 3 stars that's coming in around the high 60s, mid to high 60s. So we're not even gonna scout these 4 stars, man. We're just looking at their tendency, their national rank, and we're gonna go based off that. So we know we're gonna pursue them. Another thing we're going to do for this realistic rebuild, we're only going to pursue 1 quarterback at a time, man. We only could put hours into 1 quarterback at a time. That is kind of how things go in real life. You know, schools do not bring in more than 1 quarterback. There's obviously going to be an exception, but you see it all the time. Once the schools start pursuing another quarterback, if that quarterback is already committed, he is going to decommit from that school and look to go to another school. You do not bring in more than 1 quarterback in a class unless it's a special circumstance. But most of the time, especially with these top level quarterbacks, they want to go to a school by themselves. They don't want to go to 2 4-stars quarterbacks do not want to go to the same program. Another thing we did, we really looked at our roster, and then we also pressed this R3 and we're able to look at our, you know, we'll say needs. And we're going to play to our needs. If say we need to bring in 2 quarterbacks, if we're bringing in a second quarterback, it got to be a 3-star or less, man. If we're bringing a 5 or 4-star quarterback, we got the next quarterback got to be at least a 3-star, or we're bringing a quarterback in during the transfer portal window. But we're not bringing in multiple high-level quarterbacks. A couple running backs, I'm fine with that. We're going to go with try bringing a 4-star, and then also some 3-stars, a bunch of wide receivers we need, some O-line. Defense is a lot, man. We got to bring a lot of guys on the defensive end of the ball. So what I'm going to start doing for the 3 stars, I'm going to do some scouting, see what I like, remove any players I don't like from the board, and we pretty much going to go from there. All right, so we advanced to the first week. We can actually put hours on some of these players, and the way we're going to look at it is position by position, man. And we are going to do things a little bit different. Like I said, we're only going to pursue 1 quarterback at a time, and that's exactly what we're doing, man. And also, we're having a strategy with this, man. We see here, only 1 other school, Vanderbilt, is going after him. I feel like we could compete with that. I feel like we have a chance. If we feel like we have no chance in that recruitment, we are not going to pursue it, man. We're not going to go after some of these guys if some of the big dogs are involved. For our running back, Nick, this is one of them situations where a lot of big dogs are involved, but we need to bring in a couple running backs. I want to try at the 4-star, so we're going to at least put some hours in for the first couple weeks, and then we got a fallback plan. We got a couple running backs down the board. 3 stars that we could pursue if needed. But we're going to start off with the big dog, and then we're going to see if we're able to compete. If not, we're going to get out. We're pursuing 2 wide receivers. Only reason I'm doing that is because they're both 4 stars, and then also wide receivers, the position of need. We need 5 of them, and then also multiple wide receivers are on the field at the same time. So we're pursuing 2 of these 4-star receivers. The 3 stars could come a little bit later. No tight end, O-line. We're pursuing a left tackle and then also a right tackle, going all out, pitching in 50 hours, sitting in the house. 2 guards, left guard and then a right guard as well. No center. Then you get to the D-line. We'll have to pursue the D-line, but we're going to wait. It's nothing but 3 stars we're going to go after. So we're going to wait until a little bit later in the year. Now, as far as the 3-star linebackers we're going after, we're pitting 25 hours in. Any gems that we found, we're pitting hours into those guys. So 25 hours into those guys. Make sure I offer everyone else a scholarship just so we continue to move up on our list. We got 1 cornerback that we found that looks pretty good with 96 speed. So we threw the 25 hours on him as well. Then no safeties just yet. So we advanced another week. We are progressing almost in first place for everyone. First or second, which we love to see. And one thing I definitely want to do, all of the 4 stars, I want to try to get on the visit, man, especially some of the recruitments that I think will be close. That's the goal, to get the 4 stars on the visit. One thing I made sure I did earlier is the deal breaker of playing style. I made sure I had no players with that deal breaker. Brand exposure, we dropped from a B- to a C+, and now some players are locking us out. I didn't not pursue guys with this deal breaker just because brand exposure, I didn't, sometimes it'll stay the same, sometimes it'll go up and down. It'll probably go back up after a week. I feel like it's not that good in this game as far as like actually being accurate, but it is what it is. Our top cornerback, we now have to remove the hours on. Make sure you come in here and remove the hours from any guy that has a deal breaker, because it don't do it manually. So now we'll go to our next favorite cornerback and we'll put the hours into that guy. As the year go on, I'm making sure I come in here to our coach and upgrading him in recruiter, especially at the positions we are heavily pursuing, like O-line, wide receiver, got linebacker, and then that 4-star quarterback we're trying to bring in. So we finally could schedule a visit for one of our wide receivers. So we're going to do it as soon as possible. We could do it against Maryland, or we could do it against Charlotte. If we beat Maryland, we're going to get a bigger bonus. So let's go ahead and do week 5 against Maryland. We'll do also staying close to home as well. Advancing of the week, we can now put our quarterback DeMar on the visit. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do against Maryland, which is next week. We also get that complimentary visit. And then also, we now could also throw a hard sell on them, maybe even a soft sell. I think we actually just going to schedule the visit for now. We're going to leave the hours off of them. The only reason I'm doing this is because no other school is even pursuing them, and we need the hours elsewhere to put other players on the visit. So I just feel comfortable leaving out the hours for 1 week, only for 1 week, and then we'll put the hours back just because no one else is even going after them. And let's make this an all offensive visit. Let's put the running back on the visit as well. Actually, it's not going to be a complimentary visit. So actually, let's go over here to the O-line. And let's put one of the O-linemen on the visit. Let's put the number 80th ranked player. And we put him on the visit. We should get that boost. We do with the quarterback. So let's throw him on the visit as well. And then we also go soft sell him. The reason I'm doing the soft sell is so I can save hours, because I want to continue to schedule visit with some of these other guys. So we got 40 hours exactly. A guy like this, we could put him on visit, but we're going to wait a little bit. Then lastly, we can schedule one more visit for next week against Maryland. We're going to do this O-lineman. Notice we're doing all offensive visit, all 4 stars, and we'll put this guy on the visit as well. Another complimentary visit. This is a must-win game for us, man. And we also could throw the hard sell on this guy as well. And we're going to put the full 50 hours into this guy, because this is actually going to be a close recruitment. Those other recruitments, we was winning by a lot more. So I made sure I went through and either put the hard sell on or soft sell on. For the 3-star players, we made sure we did the soft sell. For the 4-star, we did the hard sell. This guy, we did the soft sell. We got 15 hours here. Let's go ahead and see if we can finesse the hard sell actually. If we remove hours from a guy like this, 10 hours, then we can actually go ahead and throw that hard sell on. All right, so we advanced the week. Now we have 120 hours here. We're going to go back into our quarterback that we removed all the hours. Go ahead, throw the hard sell back on him. And look, we're in a good spot. He's coming on a visit this week. We're still in first place by a lot. We obviously didn't put hours into him last week, but we're still in a good spot. This guy feels solid, Nick. He does go to Kentucky soon. That does bring a little bit of concern. Can we schedule him on a visit before he goes to Kentucky? We can't. We can only do the week afterwards, which is not ideal. But other than that, I feel good about a lot of these other guys, man. We're going to schedule our other wide receiver on a visit against Nebraska. Then we already got the hard sell on him, but let's go ahead and schedule that visit. I want to do the visit as soon as possible, but I'm not putting nobody on the visit during the bye week, man. I would also do our other lineman, but I don't know if we need to. We're going to wait a week. I don't know if he'll make it to the week 8, honestly. So we're just going to wait to do him as well. Our guards, we could go ahead. Same thing here. Like, will he make it? Georgia is on our tail compared to that other recruitment. I will schedule the visit for week 8. We got the hours. Let's go ahead and do it for this guy. Coming out the visit against Maryland, we did end up winning the game, and we are looking good, man. We are in a great spot for some of these guys. DeMar, he is a lock. He is going to be our quarterback of the future. Running back, we still haven't scheduled him on the visit. We could do it this week. I think I will go ahead and schedule him against, we'll go ahead and do it. Might as well. Our wide receivers, wow, look at this guy. He should have just committed on the visit. Like, damn. Should have just committed on the visit. Honestly, I think we could remove all the hours but 10, and he'll still commit to us, man. We probably could remove all the hours in general and still get his commitment. This guy, we're in a good spot for as well. He'll come on campus week 8. Now we're kind of at the point where you probably could start pursuing some of these 3 stars. Our offensive tackle also is in a phenomenal spot, man. He'll commit after this week. We'll get our first commitment. This guy, damn, we should have scheduled him on a visit against week 8, but we did not. And it might cost us a little bit just because we cannot schedule him now. He already has that visit scheduled for week 8, so we can't schedule it. We could do week 7, but I think we're just going to stay put. What we'll do is put in full 65 hours, and I think that's kind of how we're going to rock out. For our guards, we're also in a solid spot. He comes on campus week 8. I think we'll get this guy. Same thing with this guy. We got a big jump with that visit. He'll commit after this week. We can remove the 5 hours as well, use them elsewhere. He'll commit after this week no matter what. Let's remove these 10 hours. We probably could just soft sell and honestly get his commitment. Now for a guy like this, one of the linebackers, I see that we're a 3-star. Now we could actually put in a full 50 hours into some of these 3 stars and really try to lock down pretty much just make sure we have a good overall class. There we go. We have our first commitment. He's an old lineman, Cook from Illinois, Ohio, 4-star receiver commits. So we're up to 2 total commitments, and we're looking pretty good so far, man. I wish this brand exposure would go back up just so we're able to get back into the running for some of these guys on my board that broke us out, deal breaker. We can actually get back and win some of those recruitments. Our brand exposure just gotta go back up at some point. I noticed in our running back room we are in trouble. So this guy, the 3-star, we're out on. He's going to commit to whatever school that is. This guy, he goes to Kentucky this week. They're already in second place. He comes to us week 8. I don't know if he'll get to week 8. He might just commit. So at this point, I'll come back over here to the prospect list. I don't like to do it this early, but we need more running backs, man. Running back is a position of need. They say we need 3 of them. So let's come over here and see if we can find any other running backs we can add to our board. I found a couple running backs. We're just going to go ahead offer them all scholarships. I do want to scout them at some point, but for now, we'll just offer the scholarship so we'll stay on that board and move up on that list. So it looks like my plan is working out well. All I did was to increase the hours for this right tackle, and we'll get 2 right tackle 4-star, or excuse me, 2 offensive tackle 4-star commitments. This guy will commit after this week, and this guy probably will commit the same week. So we'll get both our tackles to commit already. We already have our offensive guard, and then this guy is going to be close. I think we'll get him. He comes on campus next week, but I think we'll get that commitment as well. We have our left tackle commits, our right tackle commits as well. Also, an outside linebacker. We finally get a 3-star, and the class is looking good. Like, we are honestly bringing in every single player that we went after. Like, every single 4-star we went after, we are bringing in. So when I told y'all, if we would have went after every single one of those 4-stars, we probably would have got around 10 double-digit 4-stars. And as a 2.5-star program, it's just not super realistic at all, man. So here we'll bring in 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, around 7 4-stars. If we're able to get all of them, we may miss out on one, but we may not. We may not. We'll see. Continuing to advance, we just played 1-5 Nebraska. We do get our quarterback commit finally. Our right guard commits. Then also our 4-star receiver. Another outside linebacker at the 3-star rank. Honestly, we are going after, or we are getting every single player we pursued at this point, especially at the 4-star level. I don't think we missed one of them, man. Correction, we did miss one, the running back. We did miss out on our running back that we wanted. Couldn't get them all. Could not get them all. We didn't put them on a visit, or we put them on a visit late. It was able to get that visit off a little bit earlier. Maybe we could have got them, but that's fine. It's fine. We have a bunch of other running backs here. I'm going to do a little bit of scouting. We have 260 hours. So at this point, I'm going to do some scouting, see what I like, see if I can find a running back I like. Running back is one of them positions I'm definitely going to scout, man, just because you could bring in a running back with like 85 speed, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. 86 speed power back, I'm not doing that. 93 speed, I like what I see there at power back. 3-star will definitely put the hours in. So I just found 2 running backs I like, and that was easy. Recruiting class is coming together. We are at 9 total commitments, 7 4-stars, 2 3-stars, and I feel like we're doing it a little bit realistic, man. We're doing it a little realistic, and we still putting together a good recruiting class. We're not going after every single 4-star out there. So once we get late in the year, if I'm gonna go after some guys that's not interested in us, they have to have the pipeline boost, man. They have to be from an area where we have some type of pipeline boost. So there are guys, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find, but we're still limiting ourselves, so we can't just go after every single any recruit out there. All right, so we made it to early national signing day. We're up to 19 total commitments, man. A lot of these are 4-star and 3-stars. Now let's go ahead and look at their grades. So impact, normal, a lot of impact and normal guys. We get into the stars down here, but it's gonna be a lot of these guys are gonna be impact development. Got another star in there. Not a phenomenal recruiting class when it comes to development. Down the board, we do get some more stars, but it is what it is. You can't get great players every single time. We're also on pace for a lot more of these commitments. So we made it to the transfer portal window, and a guy like this, we never stopped. We never removed him from our board because we are continuing to gain influence just from having that scholarship. We are technically broke. It's a deal breaker, so we can't put hours into him. But we're still in first place. If this recruitment ends with us in first place, which it will in this situation, he's going to commit to us even though we have a deal breaker. So keep that in mind. If nobody else pursuing a guy you got a deal breaker for, keep him on your board. Some of these other guys, we got a bunch of these high school guys that we're still in first place for by a lot. Some of these guys, we don't have to put hours into them in the offseason. A guy like this, who Syracuse is right behind us, we will probably have to put hours into him just to stay in first place. But some of these other guys, a guy like this, we don't have no chance to remove him. But a guy like this, who nobody else even offer a scholarship, we don't even have to do anything, don't have to waste the hours, because if the recruitment ends, once you hit the final week of the transfer portal, as long as you're in first place, the bar does not have to fill up. He's going to commit to you. So the way we're going to use the transfer portal, we're going to look at our roster again, and we're going to fill in holes. That's essentially how we're going to use the transfer portal. So pressing R3, somehow we need 6 more wide receivers. We just signed 4. And now they're saying we need another 6, which is insane. And then also more running backs, insane how we need more of those. They're saying we need a bunch of safeties, a bunch of more linebackers. I disagree, man. I disagree with this severely, but we're going to do what we can. And when it comes to the transfer portal, you see we have a lot of these guys we're already in first place for, man. So we're not gonna put the restriction with the pipeline boost, especially for these guys that we're already in first place for. We're just gonna add some of these guys to the board, pursue who we want, and just fill up our class. So last week of the transfer portal, we got almost all of the transfers we wanted, except for this guy, which was a 4-star. We really did want to get him. He goes to Ohio State, is what it is. Wasn't able to get him. 4-star receiver in the transfer portal, but we have a chance of getting this 4-star old lineman in the transfer portal, which we'll definitely take. Everyone else, we're in a solid spot. This guy, I honestly don't. I'm not sure if we'll get him. We'll see. But everyone else, we're in a solid spot for. these high school guys, like I said, we don't even have to put hours into some of these guys because there's no point. Like, they're going to commit to us either way. We have one more roster spot open if we want to go in, and we could probably get another transfer portal guy, come over here to 3 stars, and, you know, we could find someone if we wanted to. Like, we bring in another linebacker, another safety, whatever. It's easy. Sometimes transfer portal is weird. Sometimes you can't get no one that's interested. Sometimes it's like this, where you have every single player in the transfer portal damn near interested in your program, and you're able to pick who you want. So National Signing Day, we did get everyone we wanted. We even added this guy in at the pretty much last second, and look where his influence bar is, and he committed. He was a transfer portal guy. Same thing with a lot of these guys, a lot of these high school guys. Look where their influence bar ends at. Not even halfway. Didn't even hit their top 3 for some of these guys, and they committed to our school. And we have a full class, and some of these guys are pretty good, man. Some of these guys are pretty good. A lot of stars, impact, normal. No elites, sadly. But we got a full 35-person roster class, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like we did it realistic. We signed a number 23 class, and for Indiana, that's realistic. If you go super try hard and you sign, you know, a top 10 class with Indiana, I feel as though it's going to make your rebuild super easy. It's going to make your rebuild super fast as well. So we're trying to make it a little bit more realistic, a little bit more sim. So try this method if you want to achieve that. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure I like, comment, subscribe, all that, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Let me know what y'all want to see next, and click the video on the screen now for my temple rebuild.